So we wanted to do another breakout room sessions. Looking at the time, we'll not have a lot of time. However, I think it's better if we can still do it in a short amount of time. One of the idea for this session was also to kind of reflect on your thematic learning from the self-learning phase. So what we'd like to do, perhaps only we can explore question number 2. What were the key pedagogical tools that you understood or you kind of came across during the self-learning phase, and how you can use those tools in action learning phase? So let me quickly post them on the chat box, and then so hopefully all of you have the questions in the chat box, but maybe mainly on number 2, and we'll have a 7 minutes breakout room. So I'm going to open the room now. Let me quickly open the room. So 7 minutes, we need to be very careful about time, and then I will close it exactly on the dot. So I'll close the breakout room exactly on 5:21. It's Singapore time. I think one of you could take the lead in terms of highlighting the pedagogical tool. If, for example, if I have to start, I think I really like the dimensions showed by the DEAR team. The various dimensions of sustainability, that was useful. So if you, I don't know, depending on your understanding and your learning, what you have found helpful, what could be a helpful pedagogical tool for you to teach your students sustainable development? You were on mute, Glory Jane. I see that you were speaking. Yeah. Lenka, perhaps you would like to start, because we are actually currently working on Lenka's story on our pedagogical handbook for another project. And yeah,
I'm thinking what could be. There are many things, but first thing that came into my mind is certainly Agenda United Nations 2030. We can use this as a tool when we speak some problems about the sustainable development, especially maybe we talk before about the water, the pollution of the water. We can use this. I don't know which number is this in agenda, but we can use this also. Well, that's first thing that came into my mind.
thank you.
Agenda 2030, maybe.
Yes, yeah. You mean the learning goals, the cognitive,
yeah,
like
the learning goals.
the learning domains.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the cognitive, social, emotional, and behavioral, 3 learning domains, you mean?
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Marina, Jerwin, and Mo, and also Glory Jane, please go ahead if you would like to add something.
Okay, so I think it would be better if you'll be using technological way, because in this 21st century, it is more on technology.
Okay. So technology, did we cover anything during? Okay. From Science Scope showed how to use different, how to analyze data through various tools. So you think technology will be very helpful. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, during this project, we had another project where we gave weather station, but it was not possible for this. But I think as in school, you could also reach out to Science Scope in case you were interested to integrate their technology. So now Marina, Mo, and Jerwin.
I can say that the key pedagogical tools are motivation, curiosity, and investigation, because where the students are interested in some topic, they can find the way to solve them and to research, and technology and the old stuff will go on. Technology. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you. Mo? Or Jarwin?
Yes.
Mo, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, I've been thinking about the one thing that I want to work very related with the school project, because my school has it's been about 2 years that we collect the electricity uses from each family. So we we show the number of electricity for the monthly to show the student that, and to have a campaign to promote them to use less electricity from their family. So I really like the data from last seminar webinar that Josh, right?
Yes, yeah.
Science Club show us about the electricity load and something from the project. Yeah, so I really want the tool. I have an idea to use a tool and teach electricity and think about a business model for my math part to think about electricity for sustainable.
Very nice. Very nice. You are so integrating math with sustainability.
I have one question, quick question, that is it possible to get support from the science club or the idea?
We will check with Science Scope. Maybe we will connect you with Science Scope, then you can sort it out with them. They might have some support. So we will okay, thank you.
Can I email you or directly?
We will introduce you. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to go back to the main room. Thank you so much, Mo. Sincere apologies for interrupting. I have to go back to the main rooms to close the breakout session. So maybe Jarwin, you can share your final thoughts with the group, and then I will see you in the main room if that's okay. Okay.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So as a mathematics teacher, I think I should also focus on one of the 4 sustainable development dimension, which is natural. So I believe that as a mathematics teacher, I think it is also just right that we integrate nature in mathematics, although that is quite a challenge, but I think it will allow the students to train them not just to be problem solvers in mathematics, but also problem solvers on the ongoing problems in the climate as well. I think that's all. Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm not sure if you've got the questions. I think the questions are in the chat. So based on the questions, we don't have much time, so perhaps just respond to 1 or 2 of these questions in your own perspective. Yeah. This time around, Eugene, do you want to go first, Eugene? That's a French teacher.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused, I have to say. I don't know exactly. I'm trying to read. So what were some of the key highlights of the thematic sessions? Is that, oh no, we have to go to the number 2.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused. I'm still reading what we need to do.
So there are 3 questions. Hi, Anna. Welcome. Welcome. Hi, Mike. Welcome. So 3 questions based, if you look at the chat, what are some key pedagogical tools you have come across from the practical sessions? So the sessions that you attended prior to today.
Okay.
So anybody, just a line or 2 based on what you've learned so far. What are the tools that you find that's particularly useful or you have adapted for your own lessons?
Okay, good. Now I get it. I mean, I learned myself from the format of some of the things. So the first one with the images that we had to write something, come back. I think this is always very interactive with the students, and it goes, it's really nice. From the identity, it's something that for sure I like to do it with the students. It gives a deep reflection, and sometimes it's nice to have it, and with the images it's easier.
Right.
And for some of the presentations that we had, I got a lot of ideas of project oriented that we could still do at school, and that would be good.
Okay, so the technology, the tools, the strategies, right, that you found that useful. Great. Mike, let's hear from a gentleman. Mike, Mr. Moreau.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, I'm a little bit new here because I wasn't able to join the first part of your today's session, so I'm still trying to fit in. But no as Eugenie just mentioned, I think I really like the images because that's something. I'm a biology teacher, so that's something I do a lot. I often show them pictures and I let them, tell them their personal story about that teacher or about that picture or something like that. So maybe thematic drinking water, what they think about, what they do for themselves, or what they do on their privately. So that's a tool I really like. In our school, we do use a lot of technology, so we do use a lot of tablets for working out. That's for me, it's a lot of interactivity. What is possible with the students, even outside of the schoolroom.
Right. Interesting that the way that you talk about using visuals and as images, as metaphors to examine deeply. And I think that's very critical, especially in sustainable development, because we're not just teaching the head knowledge, but we want them to tie into what in you has stirred and what of that allows you to take ownership. So thanks for sharing that. Anna, let's hear from you, Anna.
Okay, so hello, I'm not a science teacher or something like that. I'm a language teacher, but I would prefer to have some activities outdoors with my students. And one of such activity that we had 2 months ago, it was our bicycle ride around the city. We were riding around the city and discussing different historical moments that are connected or were connected with the monuments or with some ancient buildings. It was great. I like these activities that we can have outdoors.
Yeah. I mean, reality is getting students out of the class. Sometimes the change of environment energizes the brain and getting them to connect a lot more.
Yes, you're right. Reality is not inside the class, it's outside the class and the school. We can give knowledge to our students inside the class, but we can show them how they can use it and in their practical life or in the everyday life outside.
Beautiful. Well said. Ines, back to you. Ines, the woman who talks about soil and environment.
Well, thank you for this. Okay. Last month I was on field teaching, and I try one tool, which was very challenging. I try to teach my students, and I try to teach myself how to write, learn. I try to teach them and learn writing sustainable stories. I took opportunity to take a sustainable compass, with which we were having on the session on the 4th of October. And so this tool was for my students. They have a structure, how can they do it, and they have a sustainable compass. And so I took opportunity to try with them, and I'm very pleased that I tried this. And so yes.
What's a sustainable compass? What's a sustainable compass?
Well, this is a tool which we have in a session months ago, and they the colleagues have show us that. Yes.
Great. So you guys really have taken what you learn and apply in the classroom. Amazing. Yeah. Wow. Inspiring. Good. All right, guys, let's be the first to go back to the main room and say it's with great learning here. Let's go. Woo!
I forgot to start it immediately. So let me just repeat the question for the recording. So we're going to transfer now the knowledge we've obtained so far we're going to apply it into the innovative teaching practice we're going to produce. Any pedagogical tools that you have come across which have struck you or are interesting you that you might consider in the action learning phase? or maybe even if you haven't come across them during the practical sessions, maybe some pedagogical tools that you want to make use of. Maybe, for example, an inquiry-based approach, or you want to focus on a gamified activity, or maybe you want to make use of particular digital tools. What, in your opinion, are some pedagogical tools that we can make use of to help develop an innovative teaching practice?
Right. What was the question again? Good learning.
So the question is, what pedagogical tools we can make use of when we are building our innovative teaching practice?
Yes. Well, one of the pedagogical approaches that crossed my mind, which have been discussed in the previous thematic sessions, was active learning. Because in active learning, we involve our students in the different activities that encourage them to develop a deeper understanding of content by working with and reflecting upon the material being presented. So with this, I believe that with the active learning process, the students can transition from being mere recipients of information to being participants actively engaged with the new information that is presented before them. So yeah, that's active learning, one of the things that I've learned in the past sessions, thematic sessions. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Active learning, great one, surely. Anyone else? Any pedagogical tools you are interested in making use of, or maybe exploring further?
Okay, maybe
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, Rinawati from Brunei. Okay. One of the tools that I would like to use in the future would be the 4 dimensions of sustainable development. Okay, where the students are encouraged to participate actively and respect others' opinion and speak on the issues that they're talking about, and it's fun for them to participate among other students. So that is one of the tools that I like best.
Thank you. And Anka, very quickly.
Yeah, I think I wanted to say, to mention the same thing, the development compass analysis. Like I told you about the pictures, that we were showing some pictures and we were supposed to talk about the natural, economic, social effects and also who decides what's going on. So I think that's also visual, so we can do it either in the classroom working in groups, or if the pupils are at home, they can work either together on a Google Meet or breakout rooms or whatever. And yeah, they have the picture, so it's visual and they can talk about it, and it makes them think like who decides, who can solve this. It's problem solving, coming with solutions. So I think that would be interesting.
What was the name you mentioned? Analysis?
Development compass analysis. And we had compass analysis. Okay. Yeah, compass. It was Mrs. Eno Nakamura and Mrs. Yoko Ito. So I hope I pronounced. And we had 2 sessions where they talked about different stuff. But I like that one with the agenda, natural, economic, social, and who decides.
Can you remind me the areas? I'm trying to write them. So social, economic, who decides?
Natural and natural. So
natural.
Was
yes.
natural? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
I remember the one you are mentioning, but I don't remember the 4 names. So I'm trying to write them. So when I'll present, I'll know them.
Unfortunately, I didn't take too many notes because I said, okay, I have everything on the platform.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we can go back to the main room. Thanks a lot.
I think all of us are in main room now. Sincere apologies if your conversation was cut short due to time. Hope you still had a very quick, meaningful conversation. So I would like to just highlight from my group. Glory Jean, Marina, and Mo, they highlighted the use of technology. So what they did, some of the tools that was shown by Science Scope. And Lenka, she highlighted the 3 domains of, the 3 learning domains from Agenda 13. So the cognitive learning domain, social, emotional, and behavioral learning domain for education for sustainable development was a helpful pedagogical tool for her. Jarwin, would you like to share something? Because I had to leave the room early. If not, then maybe another team can share what was the key discussion in terms of pedagogical tool.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, Jarwin, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll just share a few of what I've said in the group. So basically, one of the things that I wanted to focus on is on one of the major dimension of sustainable development, which is natural or conservation. So I believe that as a mathematics teacher, I think I could try to integrate nature in teaching mathematics, although it is quite a challenge, but I think it would allow the students to train them to not just be a problem solvers in the problems in mathematics, but also it will motivate them to be problem solvers in the ongoing problems of our climate. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jarwin. So maybe we go to another group. Maybe Alexia, you can go ahead from your group.
Yes, of course. So in our group, we discussed different pedagogies. So there was the mention of action learning, and we would like to use the 4 pillars of the SDGs, but also the analysis compass, which has the 4 areas: the natural, the economic, the social, and the who decides, with the 4 images that was discussed during the sessions. And so the participants have different ideas that they wish to implement eventually in their innovative teaching practice, but also eventually with their students in their own practice, not only as part of this course, sort of. Thank you.
John?
I was just happily talking and talking and talking. I'm going to ask Anna. Anna, tell us about why learning needs to be real. Anna, come on, excite us. Anna.
Okay, so I will repeat only one more time that to my mind, everything that we give to our students inside the class or inside the school should be taken outside, and we should have enough outdoor activities or give them enough outdoor activities to the students to show them that all the knowledge can be practical and can be used outside, not only in school.
Wow, that's very important. Thank you both. So the last group, I think Neem and Nita, and you were with Rika, right? Maybe you could start by sharing.
Neem and I presented one thought, that is image are very powerful tools, not only as being a biology teacher, otherwise, because when child reads or, in classroom reading or understanding, he or she needs to create an image in the brain to understand. And that's what is the principle behind, reinforcement also. So sharing, the identity envelope or, image or hands-on kind of create build up an image. So giving student an opportunity to create a model, to create to find out first investigate a problem, hypothesis, and try testing. A simple exercise in school garden, collecting different soil samples, testing pH or soil microflora. These are the small exercise giving that gives our student to plan team building and trying to be innovative and learning beyond the curriculum and finding out the new innovative ideas.
Thank you. Thank you, Nita. So with this, we are done with all the breakout room discussion. So we would like to highlight again, the purpose of this discussion is to kind of get you started, break the ice for team discussion, so that when you are on action learning phase working in teams, you can focus on this. So the key idea is aligning your values with the innovative teaching practices you are building, looking at the true framework, and then looking at each dimensions to kind of figure out how your innovative teaching practice address all those. So that was the key idea. So hopefully you got some pointers for having constructive and structured team discussion. So with that, we are almost at the end of the first team building and peer-to-peer session. So let me quickly let you update you on what's next. So of course, we'll have the second peer-to-peer session. And for this session, you will already know before the session begins who are your team members. And you will embark on ideation and discussion for the designing innovative teaching practices. So hopefully today you have the tools. And then during next session, you will be learning more about the tools, especially on the true framework. So there will be some pre-reading. We'll upload those reading on e-learning platform. So please look out for those updates in e-learning platform. There will be one exercise and you will have the instructions ready in the learning platform on how to do the exercise on true framework. Basically, what we will ask you is to kind of find an adjective. For example, if I give an example, let's say curious, right? So replace that word curious with the true framework says, if I quickly go back here, you can see the 5 dimensions of powerful classroom. So you will replace powerful with the adjective you choose. It could be creative, curious, interactive, engaging, whatever you decide, whatever that aligns with your value. And then you will replace this content or add the content that are that reflects that value that you want to integrate into this framework. So in a way, the purpose of doing this exercise is mainly because of, we said earlier during today's discussion that we want you to align your values with the type of teaching you want to aspire to. So that's the exercise you'll be doing for prior to the next session. So with that, I think we are done with today's session. Thank you so much for actively participating. Thank you so much to John, Alexia, and Rekha also for taking the lead on the breakout room discussions, and Angie for patiently recording and navigating between main room and breakout room sessions. So all of you in Asia, you have a very lovely evening, afternoon, and in Europe, have a wonderful day. Thank you.